In this video, I am breaking down exactly what you actually need to do to start a service-based business in your local community. We are covering naming your business, DBA versus LLC versus S-Corp, EINs without any confusion, banking and getting paid, licenses, offers, and how to actually land clients. So welcome to my little corner of the internet where I remind you that you deserve more and you are not wrong for wanting it. Today, we are talking about exactly what you need to do to start a service-based business in your local community. But before we get started, I want to say what all the YouTubers are saying, and that is to make sure you like this video and hit subscribe so you can keep up with all things developing with Devan. Devan, that's me. So I can help you build a business that actually changes your life. Moving on. Hi, again, I'm Devan. 5 years ago, I started a business with a vision of creating a world filled with unapologetically successful women in a town with a population of approximately 24,574 people. And I am roughly 25 miles from the border of Canada, have a super transient population due to being next to a military base, and I am actually a military spouse. And I originally thought that I was starting an online business because that was the world at that time. It was 2020 and everyone was moving online. But what started out online really quickly became what I call a hybrid business. It was a mix of being online and offline. I learned the hard way how to start a business, and now I want to share it with you. But I want you to also note that every community is different. So I need you to adjust based on your area. But I do ask that you don't make any assumptions without actually asking the questions. So don't make any decisions that it won't work for you until you actually double check that it won't work for you, because that sometimes gets in the way of things. So the first thing that we are doing, this is the checklist, this is where we're starting right away, is to pick your business name. Pick your business name. What are you going to name it? What is it going to be called? And before you get attached to that name, I want to make sure that you check that no one has that name. And the ways to check that no one else is using it: Google it, Bing it, whatever. Search social media, Instagram, Facebook, see if they exist. Check any state registries. Check trademarks, which you can check at uspto.gov and check the trademarks right there. And after that, after you've checked and made sure that it works, I want you to check that the URL is available. And if that URL, that domain, is available, I want you to buy it. Now, the reason I say this is because I don't want you to wait. I don't want that to be the stop of where you get stuck. I want you to go ahead, grab that URL. They are like $15 or less. And if you have multiples that you're thinking about, just buy all of them. The reason why I'm saying this, the reason why I'm suggesting you go ahead and buy it, is because that is momentum. That is the way that you are going to make those next steps, is by taking those small steps. I also want to tell you that if you decide to trademark your business or put any type of copyright or anything like that, when you put your trademark application in, which I did for my self-doubt exorcist trademark, people are sitting there waiting for those applications to come through, and then they buy up the URLs if you haven't already bought them. So I cannot get selfdoubtexorcist.com because someone bought it. I made the mistake of not buying it before I put my trademark in, and now I cannot have it. So that is where I'm at. And I do believe that instead of getting self-doubt exorcist, I have the selfdoubtexorcist.com. But either way, I'm still angry a little bit about the fact that I did not buy that URL in time. So make sure you buy the URL for momentum and to make sure you get the one that you want. So the next thing on the checklist is to pick your business structure. So with this, I want to clear up a few things. You do not need an LLC or an S-Corp to start a business. I hear a lot of people be so sure that that's the next step, but you don't need those things at first. What you need are clients, and you need money. And structure can come after the money, after you have made sure that this is a viable option. So I want you to start simple because you can always upgrade later. So there are 3 structures that everyone stresses over, and those are DBA, LLC, and S-Corp. So I want to break those down a little bit. A DBA is also a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is the default way that you do business when you start selling services and you have not formed an LLC or a corporation. So a sole proprietorship can be directly related to your name or your DBA because DBA stands for doing business as. A DBA, though, is not a business. That is just a name of your business. Because if your legal name is Devan Robinson, for example, and if you take clients as Devan Robinson, you are a sole proprietor. But if you take clients as Developing with Devan, you are still a sole proprietor. You just filed a DBA. Because nothing about your taxes or your legal structure changes just because you filed a DBA. It's still a sole proprietorship. The pros for a DBA is that and sole proprietorship is it's easy, it's cheap, and it's totally fine when you're just starting. Cons are that there's a zero legal protection between you and your business because you and your business are the same thing legally. So this is best for testing an idea, freelancing, in very, very early stages. A sole proprietorship is how you are taxed, while the DBA is just the name on the door. And I know that people think sometimes that filing a DBA means that they created a business, but what they actually did was just stay a sole proprietor and give their business a nickname. Now, let's talk about EINs. When setting up a DBA, you can use your social security number or you can get an EIN. An EIN is free. You get it from irs.gov, search for EIN. Do not pay someone to do this for you unless you really just cannot fathom, but you can do this. It is actually very simple. And if you do want to pay someone, do not pay them a bunch of money to do it because it does not, that's a scam. Okay. Now, if you are a sole proprietor using a DBA, you can use your social security number for taxes. An EIN is optional, not required. People choose to get an EIN because it keeps your social security number private. Banks and payment processors sometimes prefer it, and sometimes it feels cleaner. You need an EIN for sure if you have employees, you form an LLC or corporation, or you choose to be taxed as an S-Corp. So LLCs stand for limited liability company. Okay, this is where your business and your personal life stop sharing a toothbrush. Okay. An LLC legally separates you from your business. So the pros are that it protects your personal assets. It looks more professional. It gives peace of mind as you make real money. And the cons that it costs more than a DBA and that there are yearly state fees and paperwork, and you need to stay organized or have someone who's staying organized for you. The other thing that I want to note is a lot of people who have an LLC for some reason decide to put LLC at the end of their name for their logo. So it would be like Devan Robinson LLC. And I just think that's so funny because it's not necessary. You don't need to put that as an LLC on there. You can if you want, but I just think it's so funny. I never put it on mine unless like it specifically asks if I'm an LLC. I'm developing with Devan. No one really needs to know or cares what my tax brackets or my tax like elections are. That's more for me than anything. But, you can do what you want. I just think it's so funny because I see it. And now that I've said it, you're going to see it too. You're going to see it too. So the LLC is best for service-based business owners who are making money or want protection. Now, an S-Corp is not a business. This is just something that I hear a lot of people talking about, so I wanted to bring it up. It's actually a tax election. Usually you form an LLC first and then later tell the IRS to tax you like an S-Corp. Why? Because it can save you money on taxes when income is consistent. But the cons are that it's more expensive, you need payroll, and accounting is more complex. So it's not worth it if your income is not steady. So it's best for businesses with consistent income and structure. All right. So my suggestion, a simple path forward, because that's what you're here for. You are here to start that business so you can reach your dreams, right? Your goals. And I don't want anything to block you from doing that. So what my suggestion would be is start with a DBA or sole proprietorship. Pick the DBA if you want to do something other than your name as your business name. Move to an LLC when your money or your risk increases. I will tell you that is what I did. 4 years as a DBA sole proprietor, and then I applied for my LLC and move to that in the middle of at the beginning of year 4. So that is what I would suggest. And then consider an S-Corp when your income is consistent and you have a team, or you want to think about that for your tax brackets. Now, when it comes to banking, so I was just meeting with a client about setting up her business, and she was waiting for her EIN in order to set up her business bank account. And so it was kind of blocking her from doing things like setting up her payment account, Stripe, etc. But you don't have to open a business account. You can open a separate personal checking account. The thing is that your money just has to be separate. You need to be able to track it in case you're audited. It all needs to be able to be separated. All things business should go through there, just making sure that none of your personal stuff is through there. So at first, getting a business bank account is a blocker or it's stopping you. Get a separate personal checking account. It doesn't matter. It will be okay. So long as it's all in one and you can prove it, it doesn't matter. So the rule is separation, not perfection. It's just that your business money needs its own lane. Okay. So after that, after you have a bank account, way of doing this, then you're going to need to check your local requirements. Check any local licenses, permits, certifications. You could do this by calling your county clerk's office. That's where I would call your city or town hall, your local small business development center, SBDC. They are going to be able to tell you in 5 minutes or so what you actually need. That's where I would start. And then now that you have all these things, business name, business structure, how you're going to get paid, and if you need any licenses or certifications, I want you to make sure that you are actually doing some market research. Market research is something that a lot of business coaches talk about and then coachees don't do. I was one of those. I was one of those people. It took me a while to do market research, but I want you to make sure that real people are ready to pay for what you are offering. So I want you to just create a spreadsheet or a Google Doc, and I want you to look on Instagram, TikTok, and Google, look at the pricing and the language of what other people are selling, and comments, concerns, things that you see. Just take note of all of it. Do an audit of everything. I want you to join Facebook groups, and I want you to listen to what they're saying, what people are saying in the comments. You don't need to actually post anything, just watch and listen. And then I want you to ask 3 to 5 to 10 real humans if they would pay for this. I want you to ask them what problem this is solving for them once they hear about it. I want you to ask them if they would pay this price. I want you to ask them all the things that you could about your offer so you can validate this business. Market research does not mean a 20-page document, although if you're doing everything I'm telling you to do, it might end up being 20 pages, and that's okay. But it means that what it really means is that it's making sure that real humans want this before you build it. Now, speaking of that offer, I want you to decide on one offer. I want you to pick one thing that real humans are going to pay real money for. I am a multi-passionate ADHD, chaotic Virgo projector. All these things, lots of titles to tell you that I have lots of ideas. I am a visionary, but I'm also detail oriented. It's a curse, a blessing and a curse. But I have so many things I want to do, and I get that. And I know you're probably like that too, because you made it over here to my little side of the internet. And I want you to just trust me that for now, pick one offer, not 5, not 10, one offer that you know, based off of everything we've already done, that you can sell and that you can make money on. And then next, I want you to create a client agreement. I didn't do this at first. That was on me, and it did not turn out well. If you are running a service-based business, you need a simple client agreement. And I know sometimes client agreement or contract scares people, but the right people will not be scared by it, because if they're scared to sign a contract, it means that they're looking for a way to screw you over. So I want you to be able to have a contract, an agreement that outlines your deliverables, protects your boundaries, protects your time and your energy. It has everything your client needs to know. And if they screw you over or want to quit or whatever, or don't give you what you need when you need it, you have it all lined up and you can reference that at any time. It will save you from the awkwardness of having to explain yourself and say, well, in the contract, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And with that, you can make an agreement on Google, on Adobe, on Canva. You can do agreements literally anywhere. It is totally fine. Does not have to be perfect. It just needs to protect you. Okay. Now you need to set up your payments, set up a way to get paid. Stripe, PayPal, Venmo. I use Stripe. It doesn't cost anything up front, but it does take a percentage of the money that comes through. So that is something to keep in mind. That is a business expense. Most money processing systems do take a percentage. Excuse me. Tired apparently. So just pick one or a couple and move on. Figure out a way to get paid. Cash, stack. Cash, check, Stripe, PayPal, Venmo. Pick one. Let's go. All right. And then the last thing is to get visible and have conversations. So I want you to put up your I'm open for business post. It does not need to be poetic. It just needs to be live. I do, though, beg you, do not just copy and paste something from ChatGPT. Please, please don't. And stop using the M dashes and all those emojis that ChatGPT likes to put in the AI everything. Just don't do that. Okay. Make sure you're using your own words, your own personality. It does not have to be perfect. Just do it. Just start talking about it. And then I want you to start talking to humans about it because this is where clients actually come from. 90% of my clients, I would almost say 95% of my clients all come from networking, referrals, and just having conversations with people. That is how I make my money. That is how I built my business, mostly through the direct connection, direct referral, and then I build trust through my online platforms. That's how I'm doing it. So start talking to humans. You're not going to find all your people on the internet. There's a mix. It's a hybrid business world. Everyone is overwhelmed and inundated with so much information, and they just want to know that they can trust you. They just want to know that you are human and you know what you're talking about and that you can help them with whatever you say you are helping them with. Okay, so just start talking to humans because this is where clients actually come from. So that's it. And I'm going to do a really quick recap with my handy dandy printout of what I was just saying to you. So step one, business name, research it, find it, figure it out by the URL. 2, pick your business structure. DBA, do you need it? Yes or no? LLC, do you need it yet? Yes or no? S-Corp, do you need it yet? Yes or no? Okay. DBA is just your niche name for your business. Do you need an EIN? Yes, if you're an LLC. Definitely if you're an S-Corp. So if you are a sole proprietor, you can use your social security number. Okay. After that, you need to set up a bank account, figure out a local requirement, figure out any local requirements, licenses, permits, certifications, call the county clerk's office. Then you need to market research. You could even be doing market research in between all of these things. And then after that, you need to decide your one offer and write a client agreement. Make sure you can take payments, connect to your bank account that you already set up, and then start getting visible, post about it, and talk to humans about it. That is what you need to do. That is your checklist to starting a business. Don't make it so complex that you aren't going to be able to do it. And I want to say that if any part of this feels overwhelming and you're thinking, I want to do this, I just don't want to do it alone, I am here. I do have tons of different offers, but I can hold your hand and co-create this with you if you would like. We can walk through your idea, your structure, your offer, your pricing, and we can make sure that it actually fits your life and your community. So if you do want some support on that, please feel free to reach out anytime. You can find pretty much everything, my free resources and paid resources, all on workwithdevan.com. That is where everything is. You can also check out my website, developingwithdevan.com, if you want to, but that's very specifically towards marketing and towards my Elevate Summit. So the other thing is I do want to know your business ideas. I want to know what's going on. So please, please, please do put those in the comments and talk to me in the comments because I am not too good. I'm not too fancy to respond. I read everything, I respond, and I want to know. I love it. Spill the tea. Tell me everything. Okay. And just remember that you deserve more and you are not wrong for wanting it. So I will see you in the next video and I hope to hear from you soon.